Have you ever just looked at the world and felt like there's some kind of deeper order to things? Well, today we're diving into a really powerful idea that there's a hidden set of rules, an unseen logic that governs all the rewards and punishments in our lives.
I mean, really, think about it. Why do some people seem to get all the lucky breaks while others just face one struggle after another? Or why are some societies so peaceful and prosperous while others seem trapped in endless chaos? The source material we're looking at today says, nope, this is not random, not at all. There is a system at play.
And at the absolute heart of this whole philosophy is something called a cosmic standard. You can just think of it like a giant universal balance sheet for everything we do. And according to this system, nothing, and I mean nothing, is an accident. There are very precise, unwritten rules for what gets you a credit and what gets you a debit. So what's rule number one? It's actually incredibly simple, but it's huge. The system rewards creation. Anything that involves building, innovating, bringing something new and valuable into the world. And on the flip side, it punishes destruction. This one single principle is basically the North Star for everything else that follows. And get this cosmic balance sheet, it's not just tracking physical stuff. It is meticulously recording our emotional impact on others. So if you bring joy, freedom, or happiness to someone, that's like a major deposit into your account. But causing trouble, pain, or fear for others, yeah, that's a huge withdrawal, one that leads directly to punishment. And the system's scope, it goes way beyond just us humans. It's watching how we treat the planet. Protecting and caring for the natural world is a highly rewarded act. But damaging it, destroying it, according to this framework, those actions bring direct, negative consequences right back to our doorstep.
Okay, so those are the standards, the big rules. But how do these rewards and punishments actually, show up in the real world? How does a simple act of kindness, or an act of cruelty for that matter, turn into a real, tangible outcome in your life? Let's take a look at the specific pathways. It seems that justice flows through 5 main channels, kind of like ripples in a pond moving outwards from our personal lives. It all starts with our closest relationships. That's what determines if they're harmonious or just full of conflict. From there, it moves to our community and our colleagues. Then it can affect our food and health, bringing us well-being or illness. It continues on to shape our physical environment, and ultimately, it scales all the way up to form the very social systems we live under. And this is where the sheer power of this system becomes truly visible. It scales from just one person to an entire society. The collective balance sheet of a whole population directly shapes its reality. So a society that's centered on creation and joy, it gets rewarded with things like democracy and peace. But one dominated by destruction and fear, it's punished with oppression and violence. And the source material puts it bluntly. It makes this connection impossible to miss. It says, living in a democratic, dignified society where one can live and work in peace is a reward. Living in an oppressive, deceitful, and fear-based society is a punishment. The type of society you're in, it argues, is no accident. It is a direct consequence. So what's making all these judgments? Is it some emotional, divine being weighing our souls? According to this source, the answer is a hard no. It's much more like a cold, impartial computer program. The system is described as a cosmic justice mechanism, and I want you to imagine an incredibly complex but completely impartial automated program. It runs on a fixed set of principles. It doesn't care about your feelings, your good intentions, or any pleas for mercy. It just executes the code. So let's look at its operating rules. First off, it's completely impartial. It doesn't care if you're a king or a pauper. It treats everyone the exact same way. Second, it's basically a mirror. It reflects our own actions right back at us. You give respect, you get respect. You give ridicule, you get ridicule. And finally, its justice often arrives when we least expect it. It's a system of pure procedure, not emotion. Now, this brings up a really big question, right? If this system is real, why don't we always see bad guys get their comeuppance right away? Well, the source explains that it's all a matter of scale. See, the key is understanding the timeline. For individual actions, things you or I do, the consequences might show up within a few years, maybe even sooner. But for the actions of a whole society, the full effect might take decades or even centuries to fully unfold. And for the collective actions of all of humanity, we could be talking about consequences that play out over millennia. The bigger the action, the longer the ripple effect.
Okay, there's one last crucial piece to this puzzle that helps explain our place in this cosmic structure. And it tackles that huge question of evil and suffering head on. The source material suggests that humanity was not actually created directly by the greatest creator. Instead, it says we were created by intermediary beings. You could call them lesser gods, who are themselves creations. Now, why is this important? Well, it's offered as an explanation for how a world governed by perfect cosmic justice can still have so many flaws, so much evil, and so much suffering. They are the product of imperfect creators, not the perfect ultimate source.
So that's the system in a nutshell. You've got clear standards, specific pathways for consequences, and impartial rules that run the whole show. And it really just leaves us with one powerful final question to think about. If this cosmic ledger is real, what does your personal balance sheet look like?